Huge crowds gathered in Vatican City to see a historic ceremony where two popes, John Paul II and John the 23rd, were declared saints. A mass co-celebrated by Pope Francis and his predecessor Benedict was watched by roughly 1 million pilgrims and a vast TV and radio audience.
Nearly 100 foreign delegations are attending, including royal dignitaries and heads of state and government. It is the first time two popes have been canonized at the same time. Pilgrims poured into Rome, and special bus, train and boat services ferried many more into the city early this morning for the 2-hour ceremony, which started at 10 a.m. local time or 8 o'clock GMT. Some had bagged places to sleep overnight as close as possible to St. Peter's Square, hoping to be among the first in when it opened to the public. Giant screens were also erected in nearby streets and elsewhere in the city for those unable to get into the square. Vatican officials confirmed yesterday that Benedict XVI, now officially titled Pope Emeritus, would make a rare public appearance today alongside his successor Pope Francis.
But let's take a brief look at the lives of the two popes who were elevated to sainthood today.
Pope St. John the 23rd, born Angelo Giuseppe Roncalli on the 25th of November 1881, was Pope from the 28th of October 1958 to his death in 1963. Angelo Giuseppe Roncalli was the fourth of 14 children born to a family of sharecroppers that lived in a village in Lombardy, Italy. He was ordained a priest on 10th August 1904 and served in various posts, including appointments as a papal nuncio in France and a delegate to Bulgaria and Greece. In a consistory on the 12th of January 1953, Pope Pius XII made Roncalli a cardinal priest of Santa Prisca, in addition to naming him the Patriarch of Venice. Roncalli was elected Pope on the 28th of October 1958 at age 76 after 11 ballots. He was the first Pope to take the pontifical name of John upon election in more than 500 years. Pope St. John Paul II, sometimes called John Paul the Great, was born Karol Joseph Wojtyła on the 18th of May 1920 and was Pope from the 16th of October 1978 to his death in 2005. He was the second longest serving Pope in history and as a Pole the first non-Italian since Pope Adrian VI, who died in 1523. John Paul II was one of the most influential leaders of the 20th century. John Paul II significantly improved the Catholic Church's relations with Judaism, Islam, the Eastern Orthodox Church and the Anglican Communion. He is known for his implementation of several papal documents pertaining to the role of the Church in the modern world. He was one of the most travelled world leaders in history, visiting 129 countries during his pontificate. As part of his special emphasis on the universal call to holiness, he beatified 1,340 people and canonized 483 saints, more than the combined tally of his predecessors during the preceding 5 centuries.
Speaking to Newsfirst, Reverend Father Benedict Joseph, the spokesperson of the Archdiocese of Colombo, explained the significance of the elevation of the two popes to sainthood.
Today, two popes who had contributed so much for the Catholic Church during the present time were elevated to the sainthood. They were unique personalities who contributed much to the Catholic Church. In their days of living among us, we clearly saw that they were not ordinary people. They were specially selected servants of God. And their life example was so exemplary and then also so expressive. They will be our mediators. We can really go to them and ask them to help us in our ways. And also, with their footsteps, we will be able to attain great things in our life, in this church, as Catholics and Christians. Therefore, it is such a historic and a very saintly day for all of us, because this is something very unique. For the very first time, we really observe a day like this.